Do you have a hard time finding ways to get over your struggles? Hey, Coach Julie here, owner of Bodies by Colotti, located in Kingston, New York, personal training studio. But we are also always online if you're watching this video and not local to Kingston. In today's video, I am going to talk about how to get over struggles, whether those are physical, mental, emotional, whatever kind of struggles you have when it comes to accomplishing something. And now, while we're going to talk fitness-related accomplishments, this really goes for anything in life. And a lot of times we are given battles that we don't think we deserve and we have a hard time trying to overcome. I get that. Some people are, diagnosed with an illness or a disease in their life that slows them down from doing things. Young athletes get injured, and when a young athlete gets injured, that can really put a damper on their life, their career. Let's say, for an example, a junior in high school is tearing an ACL during field hockey, and that's really the prime season when college scouts are out looking for people, and now that athlete is injured. So what do? And there's a assortment of things that they can still do to make sure they get that college scholarship they're looking for to play field hockey at a higher level college. But the most important thing is keeping their mindset positive. And that is also the hardest thing to do, is to keep a positive mindset when something slows you down, when something stops you from making progress. And if you think positive, amazing things will happen. So if you simply think that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, you will. If you go into the mindset of, my life sucks, this is awful, why is this happening to me, you're probably not going to make much progress. And that's when depression, anxiety, OCD, all of those things start to set in. You could go as far as that's when, drug use starts to set in, or alcoholism starts to set in if you're older, because you're using that as a coping mechanism, when we really should be using positive things during that time as a coping mechanism. Just because you're injured, you got diagnosed with diabetes, you got diagnosed with osteoporosis, scoliosis, whatever it might be, it doesn't mean your life is over. And if you're in the right mindset, you can use that as a motivator. And you can also use that to teach other people, look at what I just did. Now, what is your excuse? Because the one thing that everybody is really good at is making excuses. And if you're watching this video and you have children, you don't want to make excuses for your children. Like, oh, they were just diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Give them some time, cut them some slack. Like, no, use that as a motivator of why they should be healthy, why they need to stay active. Because if they can do it, then that kid that's getting bullied because they're not athletic can do it, right? Because they just got hit with this huge diagnosis that now they have to kind of change their lifestyle. They're young. They don't understand why this is happening to them. They have to be taken out of class to check their insulin, all of that stuff. But if they just take that in stride, not much is changing, and they can use it as a motivator. I want to use the example of Katie Bone. She is an American Ninja warrior and a professional rock climber. 16 years old, type 1 diabetic. She won the women's championship for American Ninja Warrior, beat out Flex Rebek and all of the famous American Ninja Warrior females. 16 years old, type 1 diabetic. Anything that she wants to do is possible. She uses her illness, her diagnosis that she has had since she was young, as a motivator. She's on American Ninja Warrior, and she has 2 of those glucose monitors on her arms, open for the public to see. No shame. And she has a sideline full of supporters between her family and friends, which is why at the age of 16, having type 1 diabetes doesn't stop her, because she has that support system, which helps that mindset. Because her parents probably never said, it's okay, you don't need to, you have diabetes. So if you have gotten a recent diagnosis, be like Bone. Like, just go and do it. Use that as a motivator, because most people wouldn't. And that's when change happens, when you do what most people wouldn't do. So how do you think, Amazon came about, or Facebook? They were all told, you're crazy and you can't do that. And if they listened to those critics, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. You wouldn't be able to buy anything you want and have it on your doorstep the next day, or even the same day, depending on where you live. It's like going to the moon. JFK was told he was crazy. You're never going to get somebody on the moon. You're never going to get a man on the moon. Only Russia can do it. The United States is never going to do it. Well, he didn't give up. And they worked with NASA and they got a man on the moon. So sometimes you have to use that negativity of whatever it is. And when you're a kid and you're diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, you tear an ACL, you break a wrist. Everybody at first is like, oh my God, I hope you're okay. Are you going to be okay? Of course they're going to be okay. It's just a minor setback. And the way we react to things as humans makes it seem like a big deal. Instead, if, your kid tears his ACL and you're like, it's okay, Susie, you're going to heal from this and you're going to be stronger because you're going to mentally get through this. And we all know that the mental game is a lot tougher than the physical game. So if you can beat the mental game, the physical game is going to be a piece of cake when you get back on that field. But instead, we baby them and we're like, oh, it's okay. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. But they should be, and they should be strengthening and doing things that they can do while they're injured. If your kid has a torn ACL, have them watch game tapes. Have them, they're going to every practice. They're going to the games. They're supporting their team, but have them analyze the game and ask them, if you're on the field, what would you have done differently? Or what went well today? What didn't go well? Make sure that they're paying attention and they're still learning even though they're on the sidelines. Your kid gets diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Have them research, show them. People like Katie Bone who have overcome the stigma. Your kid has anxiety, doesn't want to go to school. Introduce them to an adult that had the same thing. Have them see somebody who is successful. A couple weeks ago, we were at my hometown McDonald's and we were with my friend, and I said, I used to work here when I was 14. And, she rolled down the window and she told the girl who was probably 14, 15 years old, she used to work here too, and she now owns a business. So if you're struggling, know that this isn't the end for you, that there is, you're just a kid now, and use this to learn, and you can be something. Because, when someone says like, oh, I work at McDonald's, you kind of laugh at them. But I was 14, it was my first job, and the things that I learned there helped me every single day. And when I was 14, it was great. I had my own money. I worked with my friends. I made friends there. But just because you're doing something now that's not what you want to be doing, or isn't getting you to your goal because you're injured or you have to start small, doesn't mean that that's the end for you. So, we can let something stop us in our tracks when something bad happens. Or we can use that as fuel to our fire to motivate us. And that's what I want you to do. If you have a kid that has an injury, has an illness, has something that should be stopping them in the general public's eyes, I want you to have them watch this video. I want you to have them look up Katie Bone, look up other people who have gone through what they have gone through, and show them how they can be successful. If you, as an adult, have anxiety, So does everyone else. It's such a common thing these days, and we just don't talk about it. If you have been trying to lose weight and you're finally losing weight and then you hurt yourself, it's okay. You hurt your knee, you have other body parts that can help you exercise. You hurt your lower back, go to a chiropractor, get a massage, get fixed. Don't baby it and say, oh, my back hurts, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Your back hurting is an excuse to not continue. It's an easy way out. And even though you've just lost 30 pounds, you're tired. So now your back hurts and you're done because you hurt your back, so it's not worth it. It's bullshit. Excuse my language. Get your back fixed, go to a chiropractor, get a massage, take care of yourself, and those things won't happen. Because losing those 30 pounds was not easy, but gaining the 40 pounds back is going to be a lot easier. And then you're never going to start again because you hurt your back. Where really you could use that as something that you overcame. And in your head, you could be like, hey, remember last week when your back was killing you? You didn't quit because you're that much stronger, 30 pounds lighter. And that's the motivation that you need. That is the motivation that you need to give your friends, your family, your kids when something happens to them, that they can overcome it. And in a week or so's time, they're going to look back and it's going to make them feel better. They're going to be mentally stronger because we learn from the past. And, they say we learn from our mistakes, but, getting injured, getting diagnosed with something isn't a mistake, but we can use it for fuel to be a better person, to reach our goals. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can get more motivation like this, so we can get you moving and show you how to increase your mindset to be a positive person. And I want you to comment below and let me know what you learned from this video and how you're going to use these techniques to be a better person and help reach your goals.